Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about Odin's Blessing, the new sort of super Uru that is sort of the CTP version of Uru, or the premium card version of Uru that has come out. I want to discuss the stat bonuses and the breakdown for how you can equip them onto characters, where you can get some of them, where you can get the rest of them, and then some of the numbers, because people are obviously wondering, and some people are justifiably worried. How much of an impact is Odin's Blessing going to have on your characters? How much of an impact is it going to have in Alliance Conquest or Timeline Battle when I'm facing other players, other characters? How much of an impact is it going to have on character ranking, and so on and so forth? So I'll do my best to answer that. Most of the information regarding the actual numbers, the math, is not actually my own information. So when we get to that point, I will show you guys where I'm getting it from, and shout outs to the people that were able to get that information. But the first thing I wanted to do, and the reason why I'm on this page, is trying to gamble for a few of them, because as of right now I don't have any, so it's more difficult for me to show you exactly how they work. Secondly, I'm just damn curious. It's just call it professional curiosity. I just want to see how bad these chests are. And thirdly, for those of you that are also in the same position as me that are curious, you can possibly see, if I get completely screwed on these pulls, how bad these chests are. Now keep in mind, there's 12 different types of Odin's Blessings, and you can get 5 different types from World Boss Ultimate. You can get one that drops from Corvus, one drops from Cull Obsidian, one drops from Ebony Maw, one drops from Thanos, and one drops from Proxima. But the other 7 are completely unavailable, and you can check that out on the World Boss Ultimate page itself, in case you're wondering. But you have to play at least stage 1 in order for that to drop. I haven't seen any information that shows that you have to play a high stage, but for what it's worth, the majority of screenshots that have been sent to me were at least stage 30, I believe, 30 and up for those Odin's Blessings. So we're gonna pull 10 times and see how many Odin's Blessings we get with a 675 chest, and hopefully I can have a couple here that I can show you how they work stat-wise and why you might need them if you're a specific player in a specific situation. But as always, of course, for the majority of you, this is not a good option. This is not a good way to spend your crystals. You know, if you're not a YouTuber, I should give you the PSA. This is probably a really bad idea unless you recently won the lottery or you just have tons of cash to throw around, and this is your way of getting entertainment. So let's see what the first chest holds. We pop one, and okay, so we get a couple 4 stars, we get a 5-star Uru, and that's it. So anything from 1 to 6 star, anything from 1 to 5-star Uru, I would say is really bad, because we're going to do another one here while I'm talking, because you can get them so easily now from Shadowland Plus, and especially for someone like me, I can, and I regularly do get 4 and 5-star Uru, that this is a pretty big waste of crystals. This is probably as bad as just pulling 1 5-star Obelisk. 1 5-star card is probably a little bit better because they're harder to get and it costs more energy and more Dimension Rift runs. But this is pretty close to being up there as the worst of the worst. Now I got a 6-star and a 5-star, which is a little bit better, and a 4-star. Is it worth 675 crystals? I don't think so. This is 1 mythic Uru for 1 character, 1 out of 8. So let's continue. This is the 3rd roll here. Still no Odin's Blessings to be found. This is the worst pull possible. 1 4 and 1 5, and the 4 is an energy defense. This is number 4. This is really trash right now. So for those of you that had any for those of you that had any desire to do this, stay the hell away. This is trash. This is hot trash. I think this is number 5, I believe. We got, oh my god, that is just so bad. Okay, something's telling me to stop, but I'm gonna keep going. Let's do the last 5 here. This is number 6. Hopefully we can see at least 1 blessing. Nope, and it's a 5-star physical defense. There we go, guys. The absolute worst possible pull. I already achieved it in the first 10 attempts. That's awesome. Thanks, Netmarble. The 5 and the 4-star version and the 3-star version. Holy shit. This is literally the worst possible roll. All of the Uru above 2 stars were all physical defense. It literally cannot get worse than this. It can't. Even energy defense is better because of Reflect and because of the energy meta. This is literally the worst possible scenario. Awesome. This is number 7. Let me throw more crystals at this fucking garbage ass pull. Cool. 2 5-stars. This is number 8. There we go. We got 1 blessing, and I think that is one that you can get from balance. I think that's one you can get from world boss. Okay, we got 1, and we got a 5-star physical attack. Let's see, number 9. We got... Okay, we got 1 5-star and 2 5-stars and 1 6-star. Still pretty bad. And this is the last one here. So out of 10, we got... Oh, we got another blessing. We got Steel. Steel, I know for sure, is droppable in World Boss. So we got 2 Odin's Blessings out of 10. Pretty awful. Very awful, I should say. Because it's 2 out of 20 for one single character. This is not even like a CTP where if you pull a CTP that's for one character, or if you pull a card that's for your whole roster. This is 1 out of or 2 out of 20 for a single character if you're going to fully kit them out in Odin's Blessing. So that's really, really bad. So we got Balance and Steel. Steel is from Obsidian, and I believe Balance comes from Thanos. No, that's Resist. Is it this one? Oh, Amplify. Okay, so I got one that's technically rare, and I got one that's non-rare. So now that you've seen how much of a fuckery that is, let's go and talk about Odin's Blessings. Keep in mind that for right now, this is not going to be, you know, this won't be true forever, but for right now, Uru are still removable for free, which is why I wanted to make this video, which is why I wanted to get a couple of Odin's Blessings to show you guys before I lose the opportunity to do this for free, because then it's going to start costing crystals again. So I'm going to remove this HP Uru. You can obviously see that it didn't cost me anything. I'm also going to remove this Dodge Uru so that we have 1 amplified and 1 unamplified slot. So the way that normal Uru works, if you're unfamiliar, just really quickly, you have a base stat. So the HP has 226 right there, and then when you amplify it, i.e. when it's put into an amplified slot, it will get an additional bonus stat. So in this case, this HP is 226 plus an additional 317. So in total, I'm getting more than double the amount by amplifying it. So amplifying is really a huge part of Uru equipping, and that's why you want to aim for at least 4 out of 5 slots amplified. So most of my meta and most of my, you know, well-built characters have 4 or 5 slots amplified. If I get 5 on a lucky bounce, I'll keep it, of course, but I don't actively go for 5 out of 5 unless it's a character like Wolverine that I'm trying to get #1 with, or once upon a time I was trying to get #1 with. You absolutely have to get all 5 amplified if you want to get a character to #1. It's just no question whatsoever. But now let's take a look at the 2 Odin's Blessings that we have. So here's the thing. The Odin's Blessings are basically quadruple as good as regular Urus. They're twice as good as regular Uru because the main stat is more than the main stat on a 6-star version. So what that means is let's go over to a 6-star physical attack. So a 6-star physical attack is going to give you 82 base physical attack. That's the amount of physical attack it gives you before the boost, before the amplification boost. However, the Odin's Blessings, as you can see, are at 99, so they're already 17 points higher. On top of that, which kind of makes it a quadruple bonus, they also have a secondary stat. So here we have physical attack and energy attack, which is quite bad because characters don't need both, they only need one. But in this case, you have critical damage. So on top of that, I'm getting 222 crit damage. Now, if we go over to a 6-star crit damage Uru, it's only 185. So you're getting almost 40 points higher on the crit damage in addition to the physical attack. Now the one thing that makes this a little bit less overpowered or not completely broken is that you can't equip more than 1 of these Odin's Blessings per gear. Now I want to apologize because I originally misread the patch notes and I tried to follow up with Marvel Future Fight and they didn't really answer me, but the way that it works is you can equip 1 Odin's Blessing of 1 type per gear. So I can technically have 4 steel Odin's Blessings. I can only have 1 steel on each gear, but every single gear can have 5 unique Odin's Blessings. You can compare that to the rule on regular Uru, which is that you can only have 2 of a type on a gear. You can only have 2 physical attack on 1 gear, but you can have up to 8. So you can have up to 4 of each type of Odin's Blessings on a character. So technically, you're going to need, you know, if you can have 1 per gear, you're going to need 5. Let's say that the 5 best Odin's Blessings, you're going to need 4 copies of each to equip onto one character if you were going to make the perfect character. But the bad part gets worse, because when you actually equip the Odin's Blessing, and I'm going to equip it into an amplified slot here, you can see now that the bonuses are even higher. So whereas a 5-star physical attack Uru is getting 90 points, and if I unequip this 5-star and I go and throw on a 6-star, you're going to see that the 6-star physical Uru gets 110 amplified points. It's 82 plus 110. This one gets 132. So not only is the base stat for the Odin's Blessing higher than a 6-star Uru, the amplified bonus stat is also higher. So it's even more than quadruple. And then, of course, if you were to compare this to a physical critical damage, if I equip a critical damage here, it's going to be 246 as the bonus, whereas there we get 296, which is 50 points higher. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, this is pretty bad, Alex. What is, you know, what are we going to do about this? Or how big is the gap? I think that's what a lot of people are going to be wondering. How big is the gap now between people who have Odin's Blessings and people who don't have Odin's Blessings? I'm going to have to figure out what gears. I think it was a dodge and HP. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be asking that question. How big is the gap now between people who have Odin's Blessings and people who don't? And for those of you that are wondering, you know, what does it look like when a character has full Odin's Blessings? Well, just check out the #1 Thanos or the #1 Spider-Man right now. You are going to see a character that has all 5 Odin's Blessings. And this is what it looks like, especially when you can get, it looks like this person got the perfect 5 at least once or twice, because they have 1 HP on every single gear. So they've obviously been pulling that Uru chest like crazy, spending, I would imagine, thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars on it. Here's the thing, the gap between players who have Odin's Blessings and players who don't is not going to be monumental. It's not going to be as big of a gap as people between players who have CTPs and obelisks. It's not going to be as big of a gap between players who have 6-star ISO and fully awakened ISO 8 set. So for example, you know, most of these are unawakened versus Jean Grey, where all of them are unawakened. That's the difference between a lot of stats, like number stats, in addition to you know, the difference between 20% all attack and 40% all attack. Those are larger numbers, so keep in mind that there are still better ways and more effective ways to build your characters. I'm not trying to be the doomsday Armageddon guy. You're screwed if you don't buy Odin's Blessings, but if you are a specific type of player, you might be screwed if you don't buy Odin's Blessings. So I think for the vast majority of players, this is not a really big problem. This is not like a code red problem. But if you are the type of player that likes to get #1 rank for a specific character, this is a big problem. Now, big shout out to Dark Gamer Zero and whoever helped them out over on the Reddit to calculate all of these numbers and information on Odin's Blessings. This is going to be a much better text resource than anything I've been able to say in this video, so definitely check this link out. I'm going to put it in the description if you want more detailed information about Odin's Blessings. They show you not only the unamplified value of each stat type, but the amplified value. They show you all of the different Odin's Blessings in terms of the name and in terms of the 2 stats that you get with them. Obviously, the ones that have double, like double physical or double HP or double energy, are probably going to be the best. And then they talk about some other things that are just general information in terms of where you can get some of the Odin's Blessings from World Boss Ultimate, and then the average chance to get one, which is about 4 out of 10, which I got kind of screwed. I got 2 out of 10, so I got a little bit worse than the average odds, but that's okay. It's probably a good thing to show you guys so that I can take some people's temptation away to not gamble, and hopefully they don't do that, and I can encourage them not to. But also, to note that apparently someone else calculated in one of the comments, it takes this guy right here, Boromir666. So thank you, shout out to you as well. They got one from Cull Obsidian. I'm going to just paraphrase for them, and they equipped it on their Black Widow, and they noticed that their rankings, their growth score went up from 277,000 to 280,000 points. So the Odin's Blessing roughly was adding about 3,000 points. Instead of the normal 2957 that a regular Uru gets. Now, this might not seem like a huge amount. It's only 350 or 3050 versus 2950. However, that's 100 points. That's 100 points per each Odin's Blessing. 100 points, 1 Odin's Blessing. 20 Odin's Blessings, 2,000 points. So the difference between a new #1 ranked character who has 20 Odin's Blessings, or even just 10, or even just 5, and a character who is built to have all 6-star Uru, let's say like my Wolverine, is going to be in the thousands of points. So for those of you, and I said for those of you that like to get or want to get #1 rank for a character, this looks like the breaking point. You're either going to be spending a lot of crystals, pulling Odin's Blessings, trying to cobble together a group of 20 to equip on your #1 rank character, or you're going to slowly watch your rank slip away to someone who is willing to invest the extra money and the extra crystals to get that. Whether that's good or not, I honestly can't say. I'm not the kind of person to do that and to push characters to #1, because I see how heavy the investment is, not only in terms of money, but just in terms of resources. Gold, Uru, ISO, you just have to dump all of your resources into one character. And because I'm trying to build up a lot of characters to showcase them all for the YouTube channel, for you guys, I can't really afford to invest in one specific character that much. I can't afford to hyper invest in one character, because then it's going to make for boring content. Hey guys, here's another video about Wolverine. I got from rank 5 to rank 3, and I spent 50 million gold doing that. I just, don't think people are going to be that interested, and it's going to cripple my account for any other building unless I'm throwing tons of cash at it. However, for those players who were holding on to #1 spots and who are going to lose it now because they're not throwing tons of cash at the game, I do feel sorry for you. I do feel bad for you. I'm going to make a separate video about this, but it seems that Netmarble has set their sights on milking the sort of the players that want #1 rank for a specific character. They've moved on. Last year or 2 years ago, they were milking the ABX character, the ABX players with new ABX characters, and constantly switching around obelisks and CTPs and gear and even cards sets. And now they've set their sights on milking players who really want to be #1 for a specific character. So that ultimately is what I see as the biggest impact, the biggest negative impact that the Odin's Blessings are going to have. There is going to be a gap between, the very top level characters when it comes to other content like World Boss Ultimate or ABX, but the gap is not going to be that gigantic. I believe when they calculated it out, a character that has 20 Odin's Blessings versus a character with 6-star Uru, there's a difference of about 1,000 in a particular stat. So the difference between my Ant-Man and your Ant-Man, if you have 20 Odin's Blessings and you have all of the physical attack Odin's Blessings, and I don't, I just have the regular Uru, is going to be about 1,000. Now, you can make up that 1,000 from cards. So if they have very low physical attack or low energy attack or all attack and you have higher stats, then it might not matter. But if someone has the exact same card stats and the exact same setup as me, I'll have 34,900, they'll have 35,900. Is that such a big deal? Honestly, I don't really see it making that big of an impact, but I might be wrong and I might be understating it. I just don't want people to feel too down about it. I just want to let those people know that are going for #1 for a specific character that you should be very careful how you proceed, because you might find yourself at the bottom of a rabbit hole spending lots of crystals and getting screwed like I did with those Odin's Blessings just to get one character back up to #1 rank. So with that being said, I wanted to let you guys know Urus are still free to unequip. So if you want to move them around from different characters or take them off of old characters who you don't really use anymore, I think I have a lot of 5-star HP and HP and dodge on Ghost Rider that I think I'm going to be removing for another character. You can absolutely do that, and you can kind of shuffle around your inventory and strengthen your better characters or your more useful characters or your more beloved characters now while it's still free. And I don't think it's going to be free for much longer, because I got my crystal refund this morning for unequipping an Uru that I did before it was free. It was 140 crystals, and I found an admin gift in my inbox for 140 crystals. So be careful with that. Don't spend when don't unequip them once they cost crystals. And let me know what you guys think of Odin's Blessings. Hit me up in the comments down below. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow for Mysterio. Take care.